Alright, so it's day 30 of me going through my journal, and the quote for today is, "Live for the moment you can't put into words." And the question is, what moment in your life was so great you can't put it into words? Since there are no words, draw something below that expresses that moment. So if you're following along, go ahead and pause the video and take a few minutes to do that, and I'll be on here in a second and show you what I have. Okay, so I've mentioned this before, that this book has a couple of days where they ask you to draw something, and I've talked about how those make me anxious because I don't feel like I'm creative and can draw anything. So for this day where it has a blank space to draw, I didn't. I wrote. So I will read you what I wrote, talking about a moment in life that was so great. Let's see. It says, "I really try to put something down on all of these, but this one has me stumped." And that's what I was thinking when I just read it on the paper. I'm like, I don't know. That's kind of one put on the spot. I can't think of any moments in my life like this. And even if I could, I'm certain that I would not know how to draw it. What's sad is that the moments that come to mind where I can remember feeling the happiest are after I've been stressed about a presentation or meeting or something like that. And I'm just glad that it's over. I'm feeling just like relief that whatever hard thing that I was doing was over. And then I put in parentheses, if I got through it fairly well, because there's sometimes that things are over and I'm just like, I did a terrible job, and then I'm still like feeling kind of down. But then there's other times that it's over and I'm like, oh my gosh, this was fine. It wasn't as bad as I thought, and I did fine, and I'm just glad it's over. So next I put, I don't feel that way on tests generally, because I guess I stay a bit anxious until I know my grade. So yeah, with tests it's a little bit different because I have like the relief of the test being over, but then it always takes a little while before the teacher grades it, and so I don't have that like immediate like burst of dopamine or whatever from finishing the test, because there's still like some anxiety of like, well, I don't know how I did. Because I think I said before, like, even though I typically do pretty well on tests, I never come out of a test feeling like I just like totally aced it. I said, but maybe that's different now that things are online and immediate results, you know, so maybe if I take a test, I get immediate results online. But in my online classes, the ones that I've been having, they have like, it's not just like multiple choice tests. You've got like fill in the answer. And so like the teacher has to review them. And so it's not immediate, or it hasn't been for me. Okay, next I said, sad to say that other times I feel happy are when I'm shopping. And then I put in parentheses, I don't know if this is parentheses. My handwriting on this one isn't good. I said, when I press the buy button and the anticipation of getting it, the excitement. Okay, when I press the buy button and the anticipation of getting it. Okay. So I said, sad to say that the other times I feel happy are when I'm shopping. And I have in parentheses, when I press the buy button and the anticipation of getting it. I don't know what I did here. Basically, I'm trying to say I feel a happy feeling whenever I'm like shopping and like looking through things. But then whenever I press the buy button, like basically the excitement goes away. And even like with the anticipation of getting it, like I think the shopping and picking stuff out part is a bit happier feeling for me than like, it's kind of like once I decide on something, that's when it starts to wane. Like there is still some anticipation of waiting for it to come in, but then like immediately when I open it, like that, it's like, okay, I've got it now for the most part. There's other, things that I buy, and sometimes it stays longer. Like, I don't know. I got these flower pots, like these flower planters the other day at Burlington, and we went like on a Saturday, and or I don't know what day we went. We went on one day, and I just got one because it was like such a good price. It was like a really nice planter for like $5. And then, I mean, a good size one. And then they had these other ones that were bigger for $8. But I'm like, I know that I don't keep plants alive. What do I need these planters for? But I just loved them, and I could not stop thinking about those planters. And I'm like, they are so cheap. And so we went back the next day, and I got like some of the big ones. I have like a ton of these planters now. I've got like 6 of them. But I have them sitting on my table in the kitchen, and like every time I see them, I get a good feeling. Like, I don't know what it is about these planters, but I really like them. And I got this set of like bowls that were, again, like super cheap, and they're like good bowls, and I don't even want to use them. Like, I just feel happy with them just sitting there. So I don't know what's up with that, because then there's other things that, like, once I get it, I'm just kind of like, all right, the excitement's gone. So, I mean, that's not always the case. And again, like, I don't know what my deal is with these planters, but they keep making me happy. So I don't know. But, let's see, shopping, It says, I also feel happy planning vacations, but they rarely live up to my expectations. It feels, yeah, and that's one big thing that I used to travel a lot. Like, I've traveled, I don't know, I started traveling in 8th grade. This, like, opportunity came up, and to go to Europe with like some students, and so I like traveled through Scandinavia when I was in 8th grade. And then I don't know why, in my mind, I just felt like I was the type of person that was a traveler. I don't really know where that came from. I'm glad it did, but I don't know where it came from. But yeah, I just felt like I was meant to travel, and I traveled, let's see, I mean, a lot of it was, I used what opportunities I could through school. I had the opportunity to get out of like kind of my rural area and go to work at Disney World and live in Orlando for a few months. And like, I just felt like that was no big deal. But then everybody was like, oh, wow, that's so cool. And I just kind of, yeah, I mean, it was cool, but it didn't necessarily make me feel special like the way people acted about it. I just thought, well, this is what I'm meant to do. I travel, I, see the country, see the world. And so, yeah, I've traveled over a lot of the US. I haven't been to South America, but anyway, I'm getting off track. I've traveled a lot, and I hate the fact that now I don't get that same excitement that I used to get when I was younger. When I was a kid, I just remember the few like major vacations that we took when I was a kid. Like, I would be so excited. I would be staying up all night the night before, and like making sure I had everything packed, and I just couldn't sleep. I remember me and my sister a few times just like being up all night, just being so excited. And now it's like I've done it so much, like the novelty of it has worn off for me, and I miss that kind of getting really excited for a trip. And I think that makes the trips better, like whenever you're so excited. But now, and maybe it's now that I'm the one that's planning it, it's kind of like, because I'm making the plans, I have the expectations of what it's going to be like. And so I get this idea in my head of what it's going to be like. Whereas before, it was just kind of like I was just going, I was going with the school had the itinerary and everything. Or, my mom planned it and she had everything planned. So I'm just now realizing that maybe that's it. Because for me, the most recent trips, I've gotten way more excitement out of planning it than actually like going on the trip. And then even the last few trips, I've just been like it's not even worth me traveling anymore. I'm just not really getting enjoyment out of it. And I mean, I think that the travel thing will come back, because there's a few places I want to go back and visit. And, but I don't know, like, it's not the same as it used to be. And next I said, it feels good to clean and organize sometimes, to complete tasks, which, yeah, that feels good sometimes. Oh, like the other day I organized my storage room, or my roommate's, like, mom came and helped us organize, but I didn't do that actually. Like, she did most of it. Like, I got everything in the totes, but yeah, there was like a couple days that I just walked in there and just like looked at it. I'm like, wow, I love this, how it looks. It's so organized. But yeah, so I said, I really cannot think of any great moments that felt like beyond words for me. I could maybe think of some bad moments. Like when I went through a period of feeling nothing. Yeah, there was like, I don't know, it was a while back. It was like 5 or 10 years ago. When was it? Maybe 2016, 2017. I just had this time. I just couldn't describe it. I felt nothing. And YouTube made me feel a little bit better, because I kind of like tried to like type in like words of how I was feeling, and I came across this video of this guy that described it as being called anhedonia. And he had kind of said, he's like, well, it feels just, whatever, but like, you don't feel depressed, you don't feel sad, but you just like don't feel anything. And that's like a very weird feeling. But he was saying that like his went away, but he said it took him like a couple of years. And I was like, oh my gosh, is this gonna take a couple of years? And to be honest, I don't really remember when or how it went away. I can't say how long it stayed with me, but I don't know. I do remember being, and I hate to say this, but I remember feeling very happy whenever I got out of my last like major relationship that was like, it was several years, like 4 years, and I had just been unhappy for like a really long time, and I felt like trapped, and I felt just like, and that was during the time that I was having this anhedonia feeling. I think I felt like I was just trapped, and whenever like the breakup finally happened, I just remember feeling that feeling of like such a relief, and just such, yeah, I do remember for like that night and like the next day for sure, like I just was feeling I was feeling happy, but I felt bad that I was feeling happy, because I don't think he was very happy. But I mean, I guess that just tells me that I needed to get out of the relationship. I didn't cheat or anything. It was just like, I don't know, maybe I'll do a video about it sometime. But yeah, like that's a time that comes to mind. And then I end it and I say, but apparently, oh yeah, time of feeling nothing. I said apparently that's called anhedonia. So there are words for it, because it says, something that you can't put into words. So yeah, I don't know what that means, that I don't really have, I don't know, do other people have moments that are just so great that they can't put them into words, that like a picture or something comes to mind for them? Because my brain doesn't appear to work like that. So I guess that's what I have for this day, and I will be back tomorrow with day 31.